From Erie Zone Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
Good afternoon, everybody. Kaz is away from the building today. I'm not sure where he was or is going to be. He asked if that I stop by and host a show for him today. Just a reminder of the rules. Keep it clean. We could talk about anything. The phone lines will be open anytime, so anything that you want to discuss, feel free to call. If I don't know the information, I will do what I can to get that information for you. I did bring a guest with me today. Gentleman is?
Ferky Ferrati. I am with the Jefferson Educational Society. I am the Executive Director and Vice President.
So, they got some important things coming up at the Jefferson Educational Society, and maybe I'll just start off by asking Ferky, what is the Jefferson? What is the Jefferson? Explain to some of the people that aren't familiar with it. What exactly is it?
Well, we are a nonprofit think tank, pretty much. We are the organization that put on the Perry 200. We raised about $2 million from local organizations to hold the parade and the 4th of July and the tall ships and so on and so forth. That's one thing that we did this summer, but what we do year-round is we offer about 100 programs on educational stuff, for lack of a better word. Right. We have things like, we just had a lecture the other day on the Roman history, or we have, next Monday we have Pat Capabianca talking about how Erie politics has changed over the last 50 years. So, all kinds of programs, anything pretty much you can think of. On Halloween night, we have educational programs on bats and how they are important to our ecosystem, pretty much.
On bats?
On bats.
Who's giving that talk?
Steve Ropsky from Gannon, actually. He's done a lot of research on bats, so he'll be talking about the danger of bats. Apparently there's some kind of a disease that's going around the world that's killing bats, and that means we're going to have less bats to eat the insects that bother us year-round. So
the important role that they play in the ecosystem.
Exactly.
And it's a great Halloween topic.
Yeah, it's on Halloween night. What better night to talk about?
Absolutely. One of the main reasons that I asked Ferky to join us today is that as a member of the Jefferson Society, one of the big things that they have every year is the Global Summit. Give us a definition, an example of what a Global Summit is.
Well, Global Summit is we hold a week conference usually in November, and we bring in nationally and internationally known speakers to Erie so they can get an in-depth lecture on a particular issue that affects our day-to-day life. We started this in '09. We brought in a person from Washington Post, E.J. Dion.
Yes.
And then we moved on from there. We brought in people like Paul Kennedy from Yale and Francis Fukuyama from Stanford University. We brought in David Brooks and Karl Rove and Robert Krishner from Harvard. And so these are the kind of speakers that we bring in every year, every November. And this, for this year, it will be November 11th through the 15th.
What type of speakers do you have lined up this year?
Oh, it's a great lineup, actually. This is our best one. We start on Monday the 11th at 7:30 at the Jefferson Society. We have Ian Morris, who's written a book on how the West rules. Actually, the title of the book is Why the West Rules for Now. And basically, he goes through 10,000 years of history of humanity and how the balance of power has changed from the East to the West. And then he looks in the future, 1,000, 2,000 years down the line, and where is humanity going?
Right.
So that's what he's going to be talking about. And he's coming all the way from California to Erie, and I'm very excited for his lecture. On Tuesday night, actually at Tuesday at lunch, we have David Gergen from C-SPAN. I'm sorry, from CNN.
Right.
He was a political advisor for 4 different presidents, starting with Nixon to Clinton, and he's going to talk about presidential leadership, how it's changed, how it should be, and how it should not be. So basically the lessons of presidential leadership. That night we have, from Brookings Institute in New York, we have Thomas Mann, and he's going to be talking about our foreign affairs and how that's going. Apparently, according to him, we're pretty bad at it, foreign policy. So he's going to study the foreign policy. Wednesday night we have a debate on the role of government. Actually, this is the first time that we're doing this. Basically, 2 people, one for Republican, the other Democrat, are going to debate what role should the government play in our lives. So we have Howard Dean. He ran for president, I believe, in 2008, and he's running again in 2016. Former governor of Vermont. I'm sorry about that. And Bill Kristol, who is major thinker for the Republican Party, and he's coming from Washington. So it's an exciting debate. On Thursday we have C-SPAN executive director and president, and Richard North-Smith, historian. Brian Lamb from C-SPAN are going to discuss the role of first ladies. So that's going to be very exciting, and that's on Thursday at lunch. On Thursday night, we have a lady from Harvard, Edith Witter, talking about deep sea fish and how we can use the technology that these fish have naturally into improving medicine and to improve technology and so on and so forth. Friday at lunch, we have a lady from Notre Dame. She's going to be speaking on new development in cancer treatment. And then we're going to close it up with Erie native Harry Markopolos. And for those of you who don't remember, he is the guy that brought down Bernie Madoff. So he's from Erie, went to Cathedral Prep. And that's about it for the speakers for this year.
Well, I mean, actually, that's great. It sounds like you guys have a lot of the different areas covered. I know that I attended last year. I think it was David Brooks, correct?
Yeah.
And Karl Rove. Mm-hmm. Did you guys have? Where is it going to be located? Are all the speakers going to be at the Jefferson? Or I know there were some in different locations. Last year.
This year we're going to have. There's 8 programs altogether. So. 6 of the programs are going to be at the Jefferson Society, which is located on 32nd and State, right in the heart of Erie.
Right.
And the Harry Markopolos lecture will be held at his high school at Cathedral Prep. Oh. And then the debate on the role of government with Howard Dean and Bill Kristol will be at Collegiate Academy.
Right, because I remember last year when I attended the Brooks and the Karl Rove, it was crowded. I mean, those were packed.
Yeah, the attendance has been amazing. I mean, we started our first summit in 2009. It was about 500 people, and it's gone up to 1,100 people in 2010, to 1,600 people in 2011. 2,100 people attended last year. And we hope about 2,500 will attend this year.
Well, that's great. Let's talk. I know they give an award every year to a citizen within Erie County. Why don't you tell some of the people watching, what the award is, and give us some of the details about that.
Yeah, well, the award is given on the last night of the Global Summit, actually. That's why we've designed it that way, so we can close the Global Summit with a person who is from Erie, who's gone and to play a national role. I think we started in this tradition, I think, in 2011. We brought in Steve Scully from C-SPAN. We gave him the award. It's called the Dignitas Award, the Thomas Hagen Dignitas Award. And last year we brought in Barry Castleman from Minneapolis. this year is Harry Markopoulos. He's from Erie, so it's just basically recognizing them that they're from Erie. We appreciate what they've done for in any particular field that they're playing on.
Right.
So it's just to show our appreciation and to tell them that we're proud of them, the way they represent Erie.
It's, like the names that I've, the David Gergen and the Howard Dean, I mean, those are big players on the national scene.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like the Karl Rove and the David Brooks from last year, they are very entertaining. They were very well informed.
Well, entertainment is just one thing. I mean, our role is to make sure that what they're saying is something that's useful and that it deserves to be heard
Right.
by our citizens. So we tend to bring in more of an intellectual person.
Right.
So we look at books that are sold. We look at the presentations. So, if, for example, Edith Witter has been on TED. TED is this national conference
Right.
that brings in people that have brand new ideas.
Right.
And talk about those ideas, and she's been on there 4 times, so we're very lucky to have her. So basically, we look at the intellect more than we look at the entertainment part of it, although it does happen to be entertaining at
Well,
points.
those guys they're fantastic speakers.
Yeah.
I remember David Brooks. I don't know if he had just put his book out
Yep.
or, it had been out for a while, but, after the discussion, he came up and signed books and met with all the fans and all the people that were there. And, they spent time in the Erie community. What is some of the feedback from some of the people in the community about, what they think about Erie, some of the big name people that come in here? What have you heard?
Well, they love Erie. They really do. It's one of them last year, I'm trying to remember which one said it. Actually it was David Brooks, who came in and said that, every small town needs something like this. They come to places like Erie, they prefer to come to places like Erie because they get a different kind of audience.
Right.
It's more a generalized audience. So whatever you go to New York City or Charlotte or Chicago or Washington or any of these places that you go to, they talk to people who attend conferences for a living.
Right.
Here in Erie, they get to talk to the average person out there. So they enjoy coming in, and it's getting easier to get them because now the Global Summit, our Global Summit has a nationally recognized name.
Right.
It's for a city our size. If you go anywhere, you can't find anything like this, especially in a short period of time, like 8 presentations in a week.
Right.
So that's we're trying to bring them to Erie. We send them right down to the Bayfront. They love the hotel.
Right.
They love it. They can't say enough good things about Erie.
Right. I mean, for any speaker that I've ever seen there, when they go to our waterfront, I mean, we take it for granted what we have down there at times, and when these people see what we actually have here, they are impressed, and from what I've heard, they can't wait to come back and visit us. So I think we do have a lot to offer in this community. Let's go back to the Jefferson Educational Society a little bit. Mm-hmm. Tell us some of the people out there, other than the summit, mm-hmm. give them an example of some other programs and topics and discussions that you guys have had over there.
Well, we have a new program on Monday night. It's led by one of our founders, Charles Brock, and it basically covers all kinds of issues within the community. We have actually a program tonight at the Jefferson Society with Charles Brock and friends. That's what it's called, the program, and the Erie County Executive, Barry Grossman, is going to join him to talk about crime and our correctional facilities and how we treat our inmates and things like that, and the chances of inmates going back to prison. So that's what they're going to be covering tonight. We have 4 terms a year. We offer about 25 to 30 lectures per term.
Right.
It could range from anything. You know, how is technology affecting our life? Where are we going as a human race? The War of 1812. We had 37 lectures on the War of 1812 on the Battle of Lake Erie. Basically, Erie was born because of the Battle of Lake Erie, and because we built those ships right down at the foot of at Dobbin's Landing. There was only 500 people in this town at that point. So we had the Perry 200 was born because of that. We're trying to celebrate our birth as a city.
Have you guys, bringing up the Perry 200, most people know that I was involved in that as well. Have you gotten any totals on exactly how many people participated in our events or in any of the lectures?
Yeah, we had 72 events that brought in cumulatively, I think it's 535,000 attendees. It's by far the biggest celebration in the country for the War of 1812. 50 years ago, 100 years ago, Buffalo used to do big things. This time around, we were told that New Orleans is having a huge celebration. It turns out they had 2 weeks, one in 2012, and they're having another week.
So
they're
having a 2-week celebration?
Yeah, and we had 2 years of events, 71 events.
Right.
We introduced Erie history back into the schools. We had publications. We did a memorial. We relit the Perry Monument. If you go at night, it's absolutely stunning. If you go down at Dobbin's Landing and you look across the bay into the peninsula, you see this that we relit the monument down there, and it's absolutely gorgeous. The parade Erie was jammed in the parade. It was
They were 6-7 deep when I came down to watch. I stopped down like in the middle of it, so I came down there, and I mean I was 6-7 deep.
Well, we had 7,000 people walk the parade.
Right.
From all walks of life. We estimated about 125 to 140,000 people were downtown Erie that day.
If you think about that, that is an amazing number.
Yeah.
I mean,
trying to organize this whole thing was a nightmare, but it was totally worth it.
What's his name from Gannon? What's his name again? That was in charge of the parade.
Ray Lineski.
Ray Lesneski. That guy deserves a pat on the back for the job that him and the rest, and your staff did a lot too.
Yeah. Well, Ray and my staff, I mean, they worked 14 months on the parade.
Yeah.
Ray deserves more than a pat in the back. He deserves an award. I don't know how he did it, but he did it, and it was absolutely flawless. We had the 4th of July. 4th of July was in 4 different parts of the county. We had fireworks in Waterford, in Girard, in Northeast, and downtown Erie.
How many, I was involved in that too, but what were the estimated totals of people involved in that went to see those? I have a ballpark figure, but I haven't checked with you guys lately to see what was the...
Well, we had between downtown and Peninsula and Liberty Park, about 90,000 that viewed the Erie ones. We had about 30,000 over in Waterford, about 15,000 in Northeast, and about 30 to 40,000 in Girard.
Yeah, I mean, we, a lot of people that I've ran into.
Never been done in Erie.
No. And they were ecstatic that we were bringing the Perry 200 stuff and the fireworks to their communities instead of them having to all come downtown.
Well, it's because it does get a little jammed on 4th of July.
I remember, well, that's how the whole thing, the whole 4 different celebrations took place.
It was a county and city celebration.
Yes.
It was not. It was a joint celebration. We wanted to get everybody involved. In 1812, Waterford was the county seat.
Yep.
So, it was very important to get everybody around the county involved in the celebration.
Right. The phone lines are open. You can jump in on us anytime you want. If anything you want to talk about, the phone lines are open. They did I don't want to, the player down at the convention center. What was?
The Perry 200 pageant.
The pageant. I keep calling it a play for some reason. I know it was
The Playhouse did a fantastic job, and it's absolutely important to say, and I'm sorry I didn't say it earlier, is the celebration, the Jefferson played a role in terms of getting it organized, raising the money, but we couldn't have done it without the Playhouse, Niagara League, the airport, the Convention Center Authority, the Transit Authority. Every major organization played a huge role into the Perry 200, and the city of Erie helped us out a lot in terms of policing, in terms of security and all those things, and getting permits, and it was really a community celebration, and it just. I've been here 14 years, and I've never seen as much cooperation between all the different entities as went into the Perry 200.
How many people did they estimate that participated in the pageant or attended it, I guess you should say?
Well, it's the biggest show they ever did.
That's what I had heard. I was out of town at the time that was going on.
Yeah. I think the biggest show before that was Les Mis, and that was a $70,000 kind of show. And but the pageant, had 200 people playing in it, and then I think about 7,000 people, 7,700 people saw the pageant. But it was fantastic. I don't know how they did it, and Almitra Clerk and Sean Clerkin led this whole thing, and they did a fantastic job with it.
How about the Tall Ships Festival? I know I tried to get Sean, was Oleski or?
Sean Waskevich.
Sean I knew it was something along the Waskevich line.
He is a very, very gifted individual. He's the one who organized the whole thing, with everybody down at the Niagara League, with Captain West and Captain Ribka, but he did a fantastic job in getting the ships and dealing with police and safety and with Coast Guards. And
that's what I had heard, that the safety and security was an in-depth
because
undertaking.
Just before, we had the Boston Marathon bombing and all those issues. So the Coast Guard was really, really careful, and it wanted us to be extra safe. Last time I knew, we are up for an award, a national award, for having the best Tall Ships Festival in the nation, in terms of how it was organized, how people got involved. So the Niagara League just did a fantastic job in carrying that whole thing out. And, I think they said 82,000 people got involved in the Tall Ships. That's people who went in and bought tickets and stuff like that. So I gotta give it up to them. They did a fantastic job.
I was, after the Tall Ships Festival, I went down to the dock, and it seemed like some of the ships and their crew hung out here for a few extra days. They weren't in no big hurry to get out of here.
That's the thing. That was another point of Perry 200, was to bring people into our town for the parade. Thousands of people came from out of town. They went to our bars. They went to our restaurants.
See, that was my next question.
They booked the hotel rooms. The hotels were booked months in advance for the Tall Ships and for the parade. We had people coming in from Canada. We had people coming in from Philadelphia, New York, all places like that. So
With the money that you guys raised, we used that money to bring in visitors. I mean, have you guys come up with any totals or estimates, or the Visit Erie or that group, have they come up with any? I mean, it might be premature for that, but once it's all said and done,
Yeah,
what type of impact did we have on the local Erie economy?
number I was given was that the $2 million that we raised, and these are from people like Erie Insurance, GE, whether it's Lord, whether it's some of the other local UPMC, St. Vincent, all these organizations. We had 90 sponsors, and sorry, I can't name every one of them off the top of my head.
We'd have to get another hour. Nobody's calling. I don't know. Is this phone working? Hello? Anybody out there today? Usually we got people calling. They might be just listening. That happens sometimes.
Maybe they're enjoying it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they're not watching. Are we even on the air? Mike, we on the air back there? Yeah, he don't pay attention, does.
Yeah.
What you were talking about the summit a little bit ago. Bringing in the speakers and stuff like that. I know you guys have sponsors that help support bringing in those speakers. What sponsors do you have bringing in some of these speakers?
Well, that's how the Jefferson operates. Obviously, is 80 to 90% of our income is philanthropy and sponsorship based.
Right.
So places like LECOM is our major sponsor for the Global Summit. We have Erie Insurance. We have Custom Engineering. We have places like UPMC and St. Vincent and Better Baked Foods. And these are the guys, the people that let us bring all these big names to Erie.
Right.
It's very expensive. It's a $115,000 conference. And we didn't want to generate our income based on tickets.
Right.
The tickets, we have $5 for students, $10 for teachers, and obviously the regular person can go as well. That's $25. Most places will charge you $100, $150 to attend any of these kind of speakers, but we didn't want to do that. We want a regular person to be able to afford to attend this kind of conference, to gain knowledge.
Right.
Because that's after all, that's our mission is to inform the people in the area, and you can't do that if you make it unaffordable.
Right.
If anybody out there who can't afford it, they can't afford the $25, they give me a call, and I'll let them in. I get them either the student or a teacher discount.
Right. Well, now that you mention that, why don't you give people the number up there if they want to call and get some tickets or ask for some information or anything like that? Why don't you give them a number up at the Jefferson?
Yeah, give us a call, 459-8000. Aaron is there to answer the phone. You can also visit us on our website, jeserie.org. And you'll find a lot of information there. You can find a lot about the Jefferson, what we've done, where we go, and things like that.
I know you guys have been I've been watching the news. Mm-hmm. Some of, with this being campaign season, November 5th, the big day is coming up. Mm-hmm. Tell the people some of the events and some of the forums and debates that, what have you guys had up at the Jefferson Educational Society that, the people attended, and what are some of your outlooks of what you've heard?
We have people who usually after the races, we do a race analysis, and we bring in people like Dr. Kozak and Dr. Garvey who do the analysis at the Jefferson on what happened. We've done lectures on the new face of politics. Basically, it's the whole thing of getting endorsements and going to clubs and stuff like that. It's really not the way to campaign anymore, according to the leading scholars. And the way you do it is door to door.
Right.
It's getting out there and meeting the people and listening to them. That's how you're going to do it if you're going to win an election in this community.
You know, one of the big upsets in the primary election was, a good friend of mine was Whitey Cleaver. He had been involved in politics for a long time. And, usually as it works in politics, if you have name recognition and you've been around, chances are, unless your opponent has a famous name and a lot of money to spend, chances are that the incumbent is going to win. But that wasn't the case. And
Well, yes and no anymore. The worst thing you can do is think that your seat is safe. If you get a hard-working opponent like Jay Brenneman was, he went out there. He's a good friend of mine. He went out there and he went door to door and visited 2/3 of the homes in this community, in the district that he's going to serve.
Right.
So he ran a hell of a campaign. So just, hard work pays off, and let's get that.
Our first caller, all right. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, just trying to check your phone and see if it's working.
Yeah, it's working. I don't know what's going on out there today. Mike said we're on. So, Ferky and I will sit up here and talk all day, but we'd rather hear something for you. Anything you'd like to add today?
No, can't really think of anything, but Jefferson Society sounds kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, definitely. They got a lot of good things going on up there, and they're continuing to grow, and they bring a lot to the community. I mean, not just the Perry 200 stuff that went on, but the day-to-day.
Yeah, we had 6,500 people, unique people, that are taking classes at the Jefferson year-round.
What kind of classes?
Well, we went through that. It's
The
lectures.
ones we talked about.
Yeah.
I thought there were some different classes. But I
This
didn't
is
know.
lectures, basically. As I said, we offer close to 100 lectures a year. And so those 100 lectures a year draw about 6,500 unique individuals.
Wow.
And that's a pretty good percentage of our population, or of our community we serve.
Well, thanks for calling. I appreciate you checking the phones. I think they're working. I think you hung up. Usually they're used to Kaz. Nobody wants to talk to me. They don't like us. They're like, who are these guys? We don't know these guys. But let's talk about something else that the Jefferson is involved with. And actually, the Perry 200 itself is the Destination Erie. Okay? Why don't you give, a brief overview of what that is, where, and we'll start there. Give a brief overview of what that is.
Well, I wish I could give you a detailed view. Jefferson is one of the 5 organizations in the steering committee of the Destination Erie. Michael Furman runs Destination Erie. He's the project manager. But the steering committee is made of the Chamber, the Workforce Investment Board, the City of Erie, the County of Erie, and the Jefferson Society. And the plan for it's basically, we found out that there are a lot of communities that are looking at comprehensive planning, how to move forward and how to look, the bigger picture in, 20, 30, 40 years from now. What is our community going to look like? Or what should it look like, or what should it not look like? It's supposed to come up with big ideas. It's supposed to come up with recommendations that should be taking place. I believe we're in stage 2 of Destination Erie. There's 3 stages. The third stage is to put those recommendations down on paper and then publish them. So by this time next year, we should have something. That's Michael Furman would be the guy to ask on all the other details on that, but it should be a very, very good plan. It's been a lot of work that's been put on it. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of people involved, all kinds of ideas coming up on any particular aspect of our lives.
I mean, what do you know offhand, what areas they're focusing on, or what are the...
I believe they're focusing on 4 or 5 different. Economic development is one. Urban design is another, and I really can't think of all the 5 ones, but,
Yeah, so
but we're looking at, urban sprawl.
Right.
And that whole thing, it's, when we're talking about taxpayers' money, if we have one particular house in the middle of nowhere that needs to be sort of serviced, that's a lot of money that needs to go for paving, needs to go for all of the water and all this. So urban sprawl is one of the things that they're looking at.
That's funny that you bring that up, with, and it makes perfect sense, but the people out in the county have a different vision and different view of that whole topic. They, they don't understand that, like you said, if you have a house on an isolated road, there's a lot of money that goes into fixing that road or developing that area, and a lot of people, I know the Destination Erie folks are talking about responsible urban sprawl.
Exactly.
Making it where it's cost effective, and the planning that goes along with it. I mean, it's an important aspect of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about planning. I'm not a planner, so but
Yeah.
It's an important thing to do. Is basically have the vision, have an idea of where you want to do, where you want to go. Where are we wasting money? Where could we save some money?
Right.
So those are the things that they're looking at. I think they're doing a good job. Again, I'm not involved in day-to-day operations with Destination Erie, so but we do serve in the steering committee, and that's we let the committees and so on and so forth do most of the work.
Well, I think that the important thing is, and a lot of these other authorities and organizations, what they do is they put a plan together, and then that plan usually sits there and collects dust.
There's a lot of different plans. Basically, I can give you a historical thing on planning.
Let's hear it.
Erie's had 2 major plans. 1913 was the Nolan Plan. That was the result of the celebration for the centennial of the War of 1812 and the Battle of Lake Erie. So John Nolan, which is by a lot of people considered the father of urban planning in America, and he came into town. He's the one who created all the parks. He recommended for all the parks around town. He's the one who said, hey, listen, right now the railroads own your bayfront. That can't happen.
Right.
It's not a smart thing to do. Give the people back the bayfront. So a lot of growth in, because at that point, really, the city ended on 26th Street. So he's the one that, made all the recommendations on growth of Erie. In 1963, there was a guy who came in from France. His name was Maurice Rodeval. And I have a copy of the study if you want to see it. If anybody wants to see it, give me a call. He came in, Mayor Gardner brought him in, and told him, hey, what should we do for the next 50 years? And he's the one who came up with a lot of the authorities, basically believed that the city was doing too many things. So that's why we created, things like the Airport Authority and the Port Authority and so on and so forth. It was recommended first at that thing. Things like the Bayfront Highway was recommended, although a little different. The Sheraton Hotel, it's only a couple hundred feet from a hotel that he recommended more than 50 years ago.
Really?
Maurice Rodeval. So he basically saw Erie. He saw Erie as Pittsburgh's playground. He said he recommended that Erie should have some kind of a high-speed transportation system between Erie and Pittsburgh and create this major economic player in the world called the Erie-Pittsburgh area. And unfortunately, that high-speed transportation system was never developed.
Right.
But a lot of things and a lot of reasons why Erie is the way it is today is because of those two major plans. And again, in 1963, we had the sesquicentennial of the Battle of Lake Erie. And that's the idea for a comprehensive plan really jumped in around 2010 when we were first looking at celebrating the War of 1812 and the Battle of Lake Erie. So we brought up the idea, and apparently the chamber had the same idea, so we said, hey, why don't we just get together and see what we can do? And we did. We found a federal pocket of money. They were given, I think they gave $300 million to communities around the country to do comprehensive planning. And Erie applied. Again, this five-group organization applied for that pocket of money and got $1.8 million out of it. And that's why we have Destination Erie.
Well, I think it's important that we take our time, to make sure that every voice and every group is heard.
It's a 3-year plan.
Yeah, I mean, that's plenty of time. If we can't come up with a plan in 3 years, we got issues.
It's a three-year plan, and they've done a lot of studying. They've looked at many aspects of the community, and as far as I'm concerned, they're doing a good job with it.
Yeah, I had when I was doing the Perry 200 stuff for the county, it's very difficult. The people, I mean, most of the people know that there is a city versus county mentality. Everybody thinks that everything's geared to make the city prosper, and the city is great, and all the money goes to the city, and any Destination Erie plan. I mean, first they were crying about the name, for God's sake, and I'm like, okay. I mean, it made the name. The
name could be the lake, could be the county, could be the city.
I mean, a lot of people are like, well, it makes the name sound like it's just for the city. And I'm trying to convince these people. I said, look, it's not just for city, it's Erie County.
Yeah,
and it's not.
I mean, if you look at the name, the whole name is Destination Erie Regional Vision.
Yeah.
So it is referring to the whole county.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Crawford County and Clarion County, aren't they involved in that whole process?
Not so much. Not so much. I mean, it's what we're looking at is the whole region. How do we fit in Erie with places like New York? We have Chautauqua right next door. We have Ashtabula on the other side, and we have the other counties. So how do we fit in on all this? That's something that we're looking at. Definitely, it's regional. How do we fit in the region? It's a very complex thing. Again, if you want to talk more about it, more details, invite Mike Furman here. He can provide you all of that.
Well, actually, we probably will reach out. With everything I got going on, I don't know how much time I'll be able to come on the show anymore. But
busy man, John.
Yeah, I know. I'm real busy. But we would definitely like to have Mike on the show to talk about some of the other things. So when the summit, I think you gave the dates and stuff.
November 11th through the 15th. We have 8 lectures in those 5 days. Great people, great time. Again, there will be chances for our audience to meet the people and get their books signed and things like that. So it's a fairly informal thing. You come, you sit, you listen,
right,
and you go home.
I think it's a win-win.
There's no test, no quizzes, none of that stuff. So it's just feed your mind kind of place. Our mission at the Jefferson is to bring light rather than heat to any particular issue.
Right.
Is to look at all sides of the equation. We are a bipartisan organization.
Right.
So all we want to do is educate the community.
Right. So people, if they just didn't want to be involved in just the summit and they wanted to be a member, how would they become explain how that works?
We have memberships. Our memberships range from $25 up to $1,000, depending on how many lectures you want to attend a year. If you want to attend a lot of lectures, And if you want to bring your friends, you go with $1,000 membership, which is usually you can bring 4 people to any program at the Jefferson year-round.
So if you pay that, you would get to come to anything pretty much that goes on. That's like
Yeah.
your...
That's our top membership. But you don't have to be a member to attend. You can go per basis. We have a lot of free lectures. You can check those out on our website, or just call us and give your address. And
You guys do like mailings and stuff so people would know?
Yeah, that's basically our primary form of communicating with our membership and with our people that attend the Jefferson. So, yeah, just give us a call and give us your address, and we'll send you information, or you can go to our website if that's easier for you. As I said, there's something for everybody. And again, no tests, no quizzes. You don't have to ask a question if you don't want to, but if you want to, we'll bring the mic to you and you can ask the question to whoever's speaking that night. So if you got a burning question about any of the...
It just seemed, like, I mean, when it first started, there was a few people in each. Every time there's another lecture, there's more and more people that are getting involved.
Here's where we went, statistically speaking. We went from 12 people in 2008 to about 23 in 2009. Then we went to about 35, 40. Our most recent year, we're at 87 people per program. That's our average crowd. So it's amazing to see how people make friends at the Jefferson. It's sometimes, I've been there from 9 till 9,
right?
And the program just ends. I'm trying to go home, but they
Yeah, we were just talking about that the other day.
They want to sit around and
Yeah.
talk, and a lot of them do dinner before or afterwards. They go have drinks, and then it's really a friendly atmosphere. You can make friends. There's people that never knew each other before the Jefferson Society. Now that they do dinners and drinks and right after the Global Summit on a regular basis.
Do you for the lunch lectures that you have? Do you guys have lunch there, or do you guys? What do you?
We have our primary lectures are offered at night.
Right.
We want to give people ability to go home, get some dinner, things like that, and then come to the lecture. But yeah, we do have luncheons. The price is $15 per the lunch, and you get a great lunch usually. We serve some pretty good food.
Who do you guys? Who sponsors that lunch, or who do you guys work with that provides the lunch?
Nobody sponsors it. We pay for it. There you go, John.
Hey, we got a call. Hey, Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'm calling about there's a couple homes that the Erie Housing Authority own over on Geist between 21st and 22nd.
Okay, what can we do for them?
And I called a couple weeks ago and complained that they've got furniture. I mean, it's living room furniture out in their backyard. It's soaking wet. I mean, it's starting to smell. And in the house next door, they have tires, like 7 tires in the backyard. Well, they were told to get rid of it. Well, they've just covered up the tires. Well, I know you're not allowed to have tires laying around in your yard.
Right.
For one thing.
Right.
And that furniture has got to go.
What do you have an exact address on that?
There's only 3 homes on that street.
Oh, okay.
They know which ones, because I just talked to them Friday, I think it was. I called again, because I called 2 weeks ago. I mean, they're very nice, and then they gave me to a gentleman, I can't remember his last name, but he said he'd take care of it. Well, I looked now, they just covered up the tires. They didn't get rid of the tires. There's 7 tires over there.
Right.
And the house next door has that furniture, and it's, I mean, you see all the rain. I mean, it's soaked.
Right.
And I don't know what animals have been going around in there, but it's starting to smell.
Right. I'm not as sure what the ordinance are on those. I mean, Kaz would probably know a little bit more on that, but I'll definitely write that down, and we'll get Kaz on that when he gets back. He's on vacation, I think, or something this week. He's got something going on. But you did talk to the code enforcement people, you said?
No, I called the Erie Housing Authority. It's their homes.
Ah,
Yeah, because code enforcement, they won't do anything. It's the Erie Housing Authority.
right.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to keep it cleaned up over there, but they're just starting to let it go now.
Right. I mean, it's important, you know, that they take care of those houses that are in decent
Right. And
neighborhoods.
it'd be different if it was outdoor furniture, if it just said living room furniture.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, I
And-
can't do anything with it now, it's junk it.
They get a little waterlogged.
Oh, yeah, it's really wet.
Well, you know what, Geist Avenue, the furniture in the yard and tires, I have that down on the list to give to Kaz, and we'll get them on it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks for calling. Usually we have a group of callers that always call here, and they're like, I don't know if they're sleeping today.
Look, it looks like they
I mean-
called to talk to Kaz.
That's like, they don't like us. Like, you know, who are these guys? Let's turn the channel. Let's go watch soap operas or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, usually, you know, people call here with different topics and different subjects about city politics and stuff like that. But they try not to talk about the election stuff. But, you know, with Kaz, you know, I mean, he's a candidate. I mean, it's no big secret. Everybody knows, so he doesn't talk about politics. But I wish that, I would like to have some of the, and I don't even know if you're allowed to do it on, you know, this being a government channel. But I would like to have different people running for office on here to talk to the people about their issues and some of their...
Well, there shouldn't be anything against it if you're giving everybody a chance
Right.
to attend. So
The only thing bad about that is that this show is taped during, you know, at 2 o'clock on a Monday. And unfortunately, you know, a lot of the people work, like they,
well, it reruns, doesn't it? Or the people who are running.
the
Okay.
people that are running, getting them to come here during the daytime, I mean, you know, because most of them work other jobs. That's why, you know, he tries to get, you know, the different city council members to come on the show and host the show and talk. But, you know, most of them have normal, everyday jobs to where they can't take the time and come down here and talk.
We had actually, at Jefferson, a few debates took, discussions actually took place this fall. We had NAACP held their forum there. They brought in a lot of the candidates. I think they brought in like 12 or 13. And the Erie Reader held their debate of city council at the Jefferson Society, and we're a sponsor of that. So it was very interesting, very informative.
I remember, didn't they have Kathy Dahlkamper and Barry Grossman over there too? Wasn't there
Oh yeah,
I guess it would be a primary.
yeah. The primary, and that's a partnership that we have with the Erie Reader and Epic Web Studios and Lily Broadcasting. We try to pick a race or two each, whether it's the primaries or the general elections, and hold them at the Jefferson Society, and then we broadcast them on Channel 12. So I believe there is a date this week that the City Council debate is airing on Channel 12, so you should give them a call if you want to see your councilman.
Your city council candidates. Is there any more debates coming up? I mean, I know it's probably, the answer probably that is no.
Well, actually, I did see something on Facebook today that there is another debate somewhere, but I can't.
You mentioned the Erie Reader. I know that you know, they do a lot of things with the Jefferson.
Well, not really. I mean, we are great friends with. I'm great friends with Adam Welsh and Brian and Ben and all those guys. They're a local newspaper in the city of Erie, and basically they focus on all good things Erie. It's with their events. They give us phenomenal coverage on the Global Summit and other events that we have. It's a calendar. It's a bi-weekly paper. They usually list on what you should do in Erie, or what could you do, and what your options are, and they focus on the good things that are happening in this community.
You know, I've seen the Erie Reader lying around. I mean, where do you get the Erie Reader? And I mean, where do you buy it at, or is it free, or how much is the Erie Reader?
Ladies and gentlemen, Ferky Ferrari, the specialist. I think it's a good thing that I've talked to Adam about this before. I think they have 400 locations around the area. I think they have county fairs, they have local hotels, restaurants, nonprofits. Just today I saw, for example, at the Erie Library, there's Erie Reader, there's at the Jefferson Society, and so on and so forth. So they're in a lot of places, as I said, 400 locations
Yeah, I know
around
that,
town.
they sponsor a lot of different debates and stuff up there at the Jefferson.
Mm-hmm. Well, their debate, the Erie Reader downtown debates, although it's more midtown, but downtown debates, they hold them at the Jefferson Society, and they are very well run. They do ask tough questions, and they don't let the questions be just, or the form of the debate be just a long commercial for the candidates, but they, instead they ask tough questions and make sure that everybody knows Erie as much as they should.
Right. I saw that, when I flipped through it, I see that they have some local, they don't have like reporters that go and out ask the questions. They have some different people from the community doing it.
Well, they do. They have some regular. Corey Valancourt is one of them. Ben Spagan and Rebecca Stein and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's the beauty of it. Is there's a lot of people that write, but they don't do it for a living. So yeah, that's one of the formats that how they get. And
a lot of people, know. I mean, it's no big secret that the Erie Times News they're very political at sometimes, and they have their own point of view that they try to push. So I think that, maybe you're more familiar with the Erie Reader, but it seems like they don't have an agenda or have any political forum that they attempt to push.
They're a different kind of thing. The Erie Times News, it's a daily thing. That's what it is. It's the news.
Right.
Whether it's political or not, that's what they do. The Erie Reader is a different animal. It's a bi-weekly thing. It can't be political because a lot of the information will pass by, and you still have your newspaper on a shelf for 2 weeks.
Right.
So it can't be news driven. That's not what it is. It's more of an event driven kind of thing.
We'll have to, we tried to get, was it Adam, right? Is that his name?
Adam Walsh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we tried to get Adam on, but he couldn't make it today. And, I think that that's an up and coming paper. That's, I'm starting to see it around in different places that I go in, different stores and different venues.
You do a great job.
Yeah, I think they do. I think that, some of the articles are informative, and like you said, they ask the tough questions.
It's a lot of in-depth story. For example, they're doing an in-depth story of the Global Summit. They reached out to Howard Dean and Bill Kristol and Edith Witter and so on and so forth, and to interview them and give people a reason to kind of show up.
Wait a minute.
To see the whole thing.
Howard Dean.
Yeah.
Isn't he the guy who was like doing really good? Then he let out the yeah, or was it, or something like that?
And then he had what it's referred to as the Howard Dean Yeller.
I'm sitting there thinking, Howard Dean. I thought, and then I was like,
And we're gonna go to Washington.
yeah, he was fired up that day.
That's the guy. Hey, he is actually take the scream away.
Yeah.
He's actually a very, very intelligent human being.
He was doing. Wasn't he like the top?
Leading the polls.
He was leading the polls, and he gets fired up for like 2 seconds, and then
that's the role of our politics nowadays. Is you can't make mistakes because everybody's got a video camera, and we'll catch you.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, I'd rather have somebody a little fired up than some.
I think it's the if you look at the whole speech,
Yeah.
and just like with anything, you look at the whole speech, it's actually a very informative speech. I've seen the whole thing. Just there's that 20-second.
The media, they love that little soundbite. They get that
that's what
little
brought in,
soundbite.
That's what brought in Romney. He got that one soundbite where he said 47% of America is
Right.
one thing or another, and that's all we'll take.
Well, listen, we are just about out of time. So if you want to give, let everybody know the phone number and the address and how to get a hold of you guys if they want to sign up.
459-8000 and jeserie.org.
There you go. So if anybody's interested in any of the summit stuff, and the dates are one more time?
November 11th through 15th.
11th through the 15th. And also, a lot of you know that I'm the director of the new senior center, the recreational center in Mill Creek. You can be an Erie resident. I want to invite the Erie seniors to a Halloween party this Wednesday from 12:30 to 3:30. We're going to have a DJ, some food and snacks, and some games and activities. It's
DJ?
Yeah, we have a DJ. Dancing. I was singing the Twist. We're talking the Twist. I mean, we're talking some oldies but goodies.
I may just show up.
Yeah, it's Ferky, you can do the Twist. But, you don't have to be a member yet, so I just want some people to come out and see what we have. It's a place to, 20,000 square feet, and we just want to provide a place where people can come and hang out and meet some new people. Because, this time of year with the weather getting cold, people just, need to get out of their house, and the older folks that don't have anything to do, or they've, lost their loved ones, or some of the kids have moved away. If they need somewhere to come and hang out, we want you to come and hang out with us. We're located at 2709 Legion Road, and once again, you do not have to be a Mill Creek resident. It's for anybody in Erie County that wants a recreational place. We have all kinds of things going on out there. I would need another show to get into that, but the Jefferson's going to be involved with us too.
Yeah, we're gonna try to set up a few programs that we offer up there for people who
A lot of people
can't
are,
make it to the Jefferson.
I've been talking about, a lot of people are excited about it. They want, but some people, your guys is mostly in the evening.
Yeah.
So, some of the people out there, they get nervous about coming out at evening, so they're like, can they come during the daytime? So we'll have to work something out and get something going.
That is an issue.
Hey, I appreciate it. Ferky, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, John.
And hopefully some people actually watch this show today, and we'll watch it during the week sometime.
Let's hope.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.